Welcome to Starcastic Remarks. My name is Ryan Chambers, and along with Chris, this is the after game review for game number 3. Stars go 3-0 on the season. They win by a final score tonight of 4-1. It seems to be that's the magic number for the Dallas Stars this season. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Another fantastic Dallas Stars win. We may never lose again. We're probably not going to. I mean, we're just great now. We're not going to ever lose.
82-0, baby. 82-0. That's all
it's
I'm
still
saying.
on the table.
All right, Chris, just real quick before we get involved into tonight's game, we want to thank our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code THBN for some special offers from them. Who really impressed you tonight, Chris, before we get into like the actual review of all the goals tonight?
We're going straight to biggest winner?
No, not even biggest winner. Just someone that impressed you.
Someone that impressed me. Sure, I'll give it to HOPENY. Goodness. First of all, the first 3 games of the season, he's been pretty great. I mean, just really the physical force on the team. Him and Ben is pretty much it. And he's thrown his weight around, had some big hits. He's had good outlet passes in his own zone. And then tonight we see the big hacky clappy that I'm coining it. And that was fantastic. I love
it. There's no way you came up with that. Someone else had to come up with that.
I came up with that.
You really came up with that.
Some respect on my name, bro.
Okay, say it one more time. Hashtag what?
Hashtag hacky clappy.
Hacky clappy. Okay, we'll call that from here on out. Every time it's a goal.
I got another one for my actual biggest winner of the night.
Okay, we'll save that for later. Because I think we might have the same one in that case. But anyways, let's just get straight into it. First period, Jets came out swarming like a bunch of bees. My goodness, they were all over. So I get the pun.
I did steal
that was very good.
That was on the post-game show.
The Stars did not look very good in the first period as they have in the past. I wouldn't say they looked flat, but they definitely were much slower compared to the Jets, and the Jets came out very strong. What did you think?
The big thing was the forecheck from the Jets. The Jets' forecheck was all over us. The Stars kept trying to play it up the boards, and then the Jets were taking that away completely and just staying in our zone the whole time. We couldn't get a good pass.
Well, and a lot of the time they were turning the puck over quite a bit as well. So there were many turnovers by the Stars, and that changed throughout the game. So, but Winnipeg would get the first goal of the game. It would be Mark Scheifele, his third of the year, from Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers. It was a slap shot. It was a great. It was a great.
That was a great play.
It was a great play. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing that Ottinger could have done from that, and you got to give him credit for that.
Yeah. I mean, you can stop that pass maybe if you're the defense, but give him credit. Good play.
Later in that period, I believe it was Logan Stanley would take an interference penalty against Ty Dellandrea. So the Stars would go on the power play. Nothing comes of that. The Stars power play would get better as the game went along, and they would just get better in general as the game went along as well. So the game would continue on. About 10 minutes into the first period, Tyler Seguin would get his first of the season. Wow. Ty Dellandrea gets the assist, and Mason Marchment gets his first assist to go along with those 3 goals he's got in the season. Tied 1-1 at this point.
That pass from Dellandrea was disgusting. Backhand right into the bottom slot, and then Seguin just roofs it. It was beautiful. What a pass. Love that Dellandrea.
He got a pass from in front of the net, and he put the puck right into the net while he was on his knees. So even at that point, just a great shot from Mr. Tyler Seguin there tonight. And going out through the rest of the first period, the Stars would finally get their legs under them a little bit. It still wasn't great, but they survived, and they survived a quote-unquote bad period. That was probably what's funny is that that's the worst period I think we've seen from the Stars this season, and it was still eh.
It was fine.
And hey, if we have periods every once in a while, I'm fine with it, right?
Yeah, every single period was like that last year, so we're happy.
Okay. Any other things that we need to talk about with the first period?
No, move second period.
All right. Second period. Overall thoughts coming from the second period, Chris.
Good.
That's it. Elaborate. What was something specific that they were doing really well?
They figured out how to get out of the forecheck. I mean, that seems like a whiteboard thing that they did in the room pretty easily. We were talking about it in our group chat after the game with the whole family. We stopped pushing it up the boards every time. We started taking the open ice that the Jets were giving us in the middle of the ice in our own zone. And Ottinger started coming back and stopping their dump-ins a lot more so that we could have puck possession and get those passes through. So I love the adjustments that are made mid-game from the coaching staff so far. It's just another thing. I mean, since apparently it is Rick Bones hate week, it's another thing that Bones never did last year. Bad at adjustments, but got some good adjustments this game.
During the second period, the Stars would take 2 penalties. Colin Miller would take a tripping penalty on Ehlers, and Jamie would take a hooking penalty against Morgan Barron. Winnipeg, their penalty in that period was Adam Lowry against Nils Lundqvist. I felt this game was a lot better officiated than last game, Chris. I don't know if you got to watch that game, but man, last game sucked. But this one was a lot better, and I felt all 3 of those penalties were very warranted, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a lot more even. It's still more penalties than I'd like, but that's fine.
We're not even in the third period yet, Chris. So we'll get there. Getting into the goal summary for this first period, though, the hacky clappy, as Chris calls it. Hakanpää gets his first of the season from Ryan Suter. Ryan Suter has his second assist of the year, and Mason Marchment. So this Mason Marchment dude, yeah, I know. He's leading the Stars. He has to be leading the Stars in points at this point right now. He gets his second assist of the game and of the season. It's 2-1 Dallas with a slap shot from the hacky clappy. What did you think?
I mean, that was just awesome. I mean, we need more hacky clappies.
More hacky clappies. How many goals do you think he could get this year?
6.
6 hacky clappies. That's what we're looking at this season.
I want them all to be hacky clappies too. But yeah, honestly, Hakanpää should not be the guy scoring most of our goals, but it's always fun to watch him do it.
But a little over a minute and a half later, I guess I should say, it's basically a power play goal, but Yoel Kiviranta from Esa Lindell. What on earth? Okay, Yoel Kiviranta, what a shot. And the Stars go up 3-1.
This one's the Kiwi clapper.
The hacky clappy in the what?
Clappy and the Kiwi clapper, bro.
The Kiwi clapper. Okay. We'll take it.
James said it best on our group chat again. Last season, Kiviranta had 1 goal in 56 games. And with the goal tonight, James said Kiwi is alive. So hopefully Kiwi is back and he can start scoring some goals for us again. He looked great all night long.
He must really think that he's playing the Avalanche. We just need to tell him that the team on the other side is the Avalanche every single game, and maybe he'll play like that.
He needs a maroon visor, and then we'll be perfect.
Hashtag maroon visor. We're just coming up with all sorts of hashtags here tonight. Generally throughout the second period, though, Chris, why did it take 15 minutes for the Stars to break the tie there in the second period? What do you think?
They didn't score. They had a lot of chances to score earlier in the period. They just couldn't get it done. The other thing was they took a lot of penalties, so they were on the penalty kill for a large portion of the second period, even though they were playing better. So that's the other thing. Towards the end of the second period, we finally stopped taking the penalties. We got momentum, and then bang, bang. It showed that we were the better team that period.
And we'll get to my biggest winner here tonight, man. That's some foreshadowing of what I'll talk about here in a little bit. Okay, third period. Third period overall, what did you think? I just thought it was just a lot of undisciplined play from both teams because, again, honestly, all 4 penalties I thought were warranted. What did you think?
Yeah, the high sticking is just unfortunate. Like, I don't even feel like you can tell him to do anything different. It's just an unlucky penalty, in my opinion. So I don't view that as undisciplined, really. But yeah, the third period is kind of just good defense by the Stars. Great penalty killing is the big thing. And so while it wasn't a good period for the Stars overall, it really shows, it highlights we still have that defense, and our special teams overall is just fantastic.
100% agree there with you, Chris. We kind of talked about how this period was full of penalties. Just a couple of them. Pierre-Luc Dubois would take a slashing penalty against Wyatt Johnston. We better protect that kid. Logan Stanley would take another penalty. He would get a slashing call against Joe Pavelski. So I guess the Jets like to slash. Yoel Kiviranta was what you just talked about. He'd get the double minor for high sticking against Pionk, and then Colin Miller would get a hooking call against Mason Appleton. So especially the Miller penalty, I thought, that's okay to take.
Yeah,
because it looked like he was going to have a prime scoring chance if Miller had not done that. Miller tried to sell it and make it look like he didn't really hook, but he
He
did.
had it. He
He
had a
knew it.
case, but if you flip it the other way, you would be screaming for a hooking call. So it's
Right.
fair.
Exactly. Goals in the period. Miro Heiskanen would be the only one, and this is a legit power play goal that counts as a power play goal. I mean, it's just a blast from the point is all it was, and Hillebuck never saw it, and I think it bounced off of Jason Demers in front of the net. I can't remember who it was, but Ropehans would get the assist on that. Robertson would also get his 4th assist of the year, and Stars are up 4-1. That kind of puts a dagger into the hearts of the Winnipeg Jets. What did you think, Chris?
I mean, after the Heiskanen goal, we should just trot out the Norris Trophy right now, in my opinion. I mean, just hand it to him. But yeah, overall, it was a boring period, good period when you're up by 3 goals. So,
yep. And let's not discount the penalty killing here tonight, because
was fantastic.
The double minor, especially that could have changed the aspect of the game, and that was like the perfect time for if you're a Winnipeg Jets fan, to get a power play, and the Stars took care of it. I mean, they all the penalty killers looked absolutely great tonight.
And it didn't feel like the Jets were just bad on the power play either. They were getting puck movement. They were moving everybody around. They were getting good chances. The Stars were just in every passing lane, and whenever they weren't out of the passing lane, they filled the shot lanes too. So I feel like it was just great overall, and obviously Ottinger was fantastic.
Yeah, so let's just go straight into what happened in the game tonight. For you, what's a couple of big storylines coming out of tonight's game?
The biggest storyline for me is that we had 4 goals tonight. Not one of them was scored by the first line. That's fantastic. That would have not. I don't think that happened at all last year. I mean, I'd put some money on it. So I love that we're able to easily take care of a good team with no help from our first line and not feeling like we were terrible because of it. So that's the biggest takeaway from me.
That was my biggest takeaway as well. So I'll turn around and kind of put this on the second line tonight. That second line in general. I mean, whether those 3 guys, Sagan, Delandria, and Marchment, whether they were playing together, whether one of them was on the power play, penalty killing, Ty Delandria has looked fantastic. And I don't know why my camera went out, but whatever. It just looked fantastic tonight. And I don't know why, it took this long for the Dallas Stars to realize that, maybe Ty Delandria can actually play, but he looks absolutely fantastic. And I think that second line really kind of changed the dynamic of the game, especially in that second period. So I'll give it to them.
Yep.
What else happened in tonight's game, Chris?
I'll lead that into my biggest winner for tonight. My biggest winner is Kiviranta. I mean, along with Delandria, Kiviranta kind of broke onto the scene, finally took a full-time spot. He kind of did last year, but he had a bad season, so we're kind of feeling in and out on him. But this game has proven it to me, specifically the second period. He was just all over the ice, offense, defense, forecheck. Obviously, the goal was great. I loved everything I saw from him tonight.
A couple more things I wanted to talk about was the fact that we've had 12 goals, and 12 of those goals have been scored by 9 different players. That is not something that we saw a lot of last year. It was all the top line. And last thing, third night in a row that Jake Ottinger allows only 1 goal. And now I think a lot of that is him, and he got a bit of luck tonight as well. Let's just say that with the post. But they took care of business. Delandria was right there, shoved it right under him, and he took care of business. But it just goes to show you how much different the system is with Pete DeBoer compared to Rick Bowness.
Yeah. And Otter's been fantastic and fully deserved 3rd star of the week, by the way, for those who didn't know, by the NHL. 3rd star with Crosby and McDavid. Wow.
Right. Yeah, those are 2 guys you would want to be involved with, yes.
And he fully deserves it right now. I think he's the best goalie in the league over the past 3 games. But he's also not been tested like crazy like he was in the Calgary series. Like in Calgary, he was just hung out. He was let to dry. But it feels like he's getting a lot of support from the guys. It feels like they're still playing solid defensively. There's a lot more turnovers than there used to be, but we're also last season we were just turning it over willingly as well. So it's a little weird. But I feel like defensively and goaltending, we've just been fantastic.
So you already talked about your biggest winner for tonight. So can you tell us who the biggest loser was for this evening?
The biggest loser is Rick Bonus. He just got crapped on all week long.
I
Just
knew this
everybody.
was gonna happen. You can't even finish it without laughing. Look at you.
Rope Hits crapped on him. He was like, "Oh, I love carrying the puck into the zone. This is great." Who else did it? Joe Pavelski did. Joe Pavelski says he likes playing with the puck. And then we leave the team. We go to John Klingberg in Anaheim. He's like, "Yeah, I hated dump and chase. It sucked." And then he gets sick and he can't even come out. I mean, even the universe was crapping on Rick Bonus tonight. So right. Tough week to be Bonus.
Mm-hmm. Well, and to be totally honest, you were paraphrasing a lot of that stuff. They
no,
never
that was
actually
all
came
verbatim.
Out no, there was even an article that came out, Chris, on DallasStars.com talking about Rick Bonus getting praise from the Dallas Stars players. But I rest my case. You have to admit he's at least a good person, right?
I have always said he's a good person.
Well, I hope that Rick Bonus is okay and he's doing fine. Hopefully his COVID bout is.
He's fine.
I hope he's doing okay. Praying for him. Hopefully everything's okay. I think my biggest winner for tonight, I got to go with Ty Dellandrea, because he looks like a different player. He really does. Thinking about the way that he was kind of pushed around last season, and we saw that, and he started off pretty well, and then he really faltered, between game 15 to 25, and then got sent down to the AHL for the rest of the year. Comes back, new coach, new system, clean slate. There's no sort of biased or unbiased against him. And he comes in, takes advantage of it, and he's on that second line with Mason Marchment and Tyler Seguin. That is a spot to have if you're Ty Dellandrea. So he's my biggest winner for tonight. My biggest loser, and I can't really think of one, to be honest with you, Chris. I guess the Jets.
The Jets as a whole. They in fact lost. They are the loser.
How about
Insightful.
How about I just say Blake Wheeler, since he lost his captaincy? Does that work?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I'll take that.
Shots fired. Anyways, I really hope Rick Bonus is doing okay and he's doing fine, but I know he'll be fine. Chris, anything else we need to mention for tonight? I think we're going to save a lot of this for Wednesday because there's a lot of stuff to talk about Wednesday.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Everything's clicking right now. I don't know what's happening, but the Stars are starting off the season well. This is crazy. I love it.
Do you think the rest of the NHL has caught on to the Stars yet?
No, they haven't yet. I've tried to look for stuff about it, and even through 2 convincing wins, I haven't seen anything. Maybe this one will wake them up. We'll see.
I mean, I understand it's Nashville and it's Winnipeg, but it's still 5-1, 4-1, 4-1.
Those are 2 teams that are supposed to be in the playoffs, according to most people. So
not so much the Jets, but yes, definitely the Predators.
Winnipeg because of what happened in the offseason. But the Predators are said to be in a top 3 spot, and we just manhandled them.
Yes, and we played very well against them. So we'll see how the rest of this goes. Chris, I didn't even look up to see what the next game is. Is it Thursday?
The next game is on Thursday. It is against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Toronto. Toronto just lost to the Coyotes tonight.
Are you serious? They've lost to Montreal and Phoenix, or excuse me, Arizona. That is amazing. Okay. So 6:00 start time there for you guys. So it's an early game. And we will be with you then. What are you looking forward to, Chris? Another win? What do you think?
I'm looking forward to beating the Maple Leafs. Their goaltending obviously sucks. I'm obviously correct. They're missing the playoffs. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Man, my camera's screwing up tonight. Okay, guys. Along with Chris, my name is Ryan. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the after game review for game number 3. Stars go 3-0 on the young season. They win 4-1 tonight over the boneless Winnipeg Jets. You see what I did there?
That's a good one.
I kind of stole that one, though. And once again, along with Chris, my name is Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. We hope you guys have a good, fantastic evening, morning, whenever you're listening to this, if you're listening later. Good night.
GG, boys.